The subject for today is the power of God. Y'all got that? What is it, Lily? What's the subject? That's all right, I'll repeat it. I'm going to say it one time. Pay attention. The power of God. I'm going to remember that Ephesians 6, chapter 10 through 12, okay? But I'm going to lift my verse. I'm going to lift my subject from Philippians 4 and 13. It said, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Now, I come down here because, first of all, one, I like to see. Secondly, I like to be near y'all. Is that okay? God's been dealing with me about reverencing who He is. We have a tendency to take God for granted and make a joke out of it. And you say, I don't joke about God. Yes, you do. Because that sounds cool when I say that, but we do. Because in the moment, God is all powerful, is He not? God specializes in making the impossible what, Erica? Possible. So when we face with impossible feats, why do we not turn to God? Because that's His specialty. Do you go to a foot doctor for your eyes? No, because they don't specialize in eyes, they specialize in feet. Right? If you're having a baby, do you go to the eye doctor for your prenatal care? No, because they don't specialize in that. They specialize in your eyes, right? So why when you are faced with something impossible for you, you don't go to the one that specializes in making the impossible possible. What does possible mean? It means you can do it. So if possible means you can do it, what does impossible mean? It can't be done. It's amazing to me how God can take something that can't be done and make it possible so it can be done. And here's what get me about us is God already took it when it couldn't be done. You couldn't do it. He flipped it and made it so it can be done and we won't even do it. Still looking for God to flip it and do it. Said that God specializes in making the impossible possible. But when are you going to do your part? We got a misunderstanding about the power of God. God knows all. He sees all. He got all things in His mighty hand. Y'all say, well, what you mean, Mr. Brown? Glad you asked. I'm going to break it down to you so you can understand it better. Do y'all know about the 3 Hebrew boys? When they were thrown in the fiery furnace, right? Right? Them being thrown in there should have been impossible to live through. But God took the impossible and made it possible. Then, in the end, they walked out of the furnace, right? Right? So what if they said, well, we're going to just stand here in the furnace and wait for God to float us out? He already made that impossible situation possible for them. It was up for them to walk out. And that's our problem. God already flipped our situation and make it possible for us, and we won't even walk out. Because we got a confusion about the power of God. Just because God can do all things for you, don't mean He's gonna do all things for you. You have to do something too. We have went through the year grumbling and complaining because it's not going the way we wanted to go. But what are we doing? You know why we're not amazed at the power of God the way we're supposed to be? And I mean all of the power of God. I mean when you woke up this morning, mighty funny your eyes was working. We're not amazed at God's power. We don't reverence Him the way we should. It's because we're still looking for God to do everything He's supposed to. That's what our mind tells us. We say, I never say that. You might not say that, but you believe that because you look forward to it every single day. I love that Philippians 4:13 because it tells me that I got to do something. It says that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. He already strengthened you. I'm sick of our people being defeated when you don't have to be defeated because your God specializes in what? Making the impossible what? Why are you defeated? You're defeated because we're lazy and we won't want to do our part. That's why we're defeated. Because guess what? God already worked it out for you. You just don't want to do your part. We got to do our part. I don't care how old you are in here. You got to do your part. Even down to Toogie, she got to do her part. We potty training Toogie. I can take Toogie to the bathroom all day. I can buy Toogie 50 million packs of underwear. I can talk to her about going to the potty all day long. But if Toogie don't sit on the pot and use the pot, ain't nothing I can do about it. But I made it possible because I bought her the underwear. I provided the pot. I took her to the bathroom. I worked with her. I encouraged her. But if she don't go to the bathroom, ain't nothing I can do about it. That is what I'm talking about when it comes to our Father. That is what God is talking about. He do all this for us, but we won't even do our part.
You're right. I know you're right. Lazy.
Won't do our part. And then we bring all that depression upon ourselves. Boy, we make the enemy job easy. Because we start getting over anxious and depressed and blaming everybody else. And we getting attitudes with everybody. Things don't never work out. Your relationships with your mother, your father, your spouses, your siblings, your church members, your pastor. Everything going awry because you mad because you won't do your part. God sent his son. His son was born of a virgin. He sent his son. His son worked miracles and wonders. He died on the cross. He rose on the third day, left you the Holy Spirit, gave you freedom to be saved, and you won't even be saved. Because God took I think a lot of those things were impossible. He took the impossible and he made it possible, and then we won't even do our part. Here's the thing. Why did he do all that? Because heaven belongs to you if you want it, but it got messed up so many times that God had to do that so that you can have heaven if you want to. Did all of that. All of that. And we won't even do our part. I'm trying to get you to realize God's true power. God gives you the power to do for yourself. You ever heard too much is given, much is required? But what if the person that's giving much don't do much? Something goes off. It's lacking. Am I not? Am I have anybody ever, okay, relationship. I'm not saying boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, any kind of relationship you have with another individual. If one person just gives to the other person, gives to the other person, and the other person just takes, and the other person give, is it an even balance? Eventually the giver is going to get tired and the taker is going to get greedy. Right? And slothfulness and greed are sin. Am I not? I'm just telling you what the word is. Because that's how it happens. So if God gives you much and you do nothing, you get greedy. It ain't right. That's why we go through tests and trials. That's why we go through things. The Bible says, blessed are those who persecuted for my name's sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The reason why is because you go through much, but you're also given much. But you know what we fail to see? That we given much. Because for every one thing that happens to us that hurt our feelings, we disregard the 15 things that God did for us that made us happy, brought us joy. Took one thing to make us have an attitude. And that's with people as well. Because God said, this is the word, and I know it to be true. The Bible says, love ye one another, little children, ye one another. Little children, as I have loved you. We don't love each other like that. Somebody could be good to us all week long. And they said one thing we don't like, they the worst people in the world, and we ran them down to 15 folks. Amen. And more times than none, they spoke the truth to us, and we needed to hear that truth. But we didn't like it. And then everything they say from that point on is a get back, and you always trying to get back at them. All that they done, now all that they done before, meant nothing to you. All that your parents do for you, I'm talking to my youth, all that they give you. Because if you take away all them things, I want you to think about if you took them things away, what you have. If you took away everything you did not purchase with your own money, if you took away everything, every kind word, if you took away all the good things that was done, and I say good things because a spanking is a good thing to me, but you don't think so in the moment because you don't like them. But to me, it's a good thing. Because if you did wrong, there's consequences to your actions. Take away all the good things that your parents do for you. Now think about that one time that they said something you didn't like or you felt the way, you got an attitude and you stomped off. And how mad you was. In that one moment, how mad you was and how mad you stayed. But when they gave you something, you said, oh, thank you. And it lasted 10 seconds. And you ain't remember it no more. But they said one thing to you ain't like, and you were mad for 45 hours. They were mad like packages come 3 to 5 business days. Man, that long for one little thing. But when you were hungry, they went out of their way to go get you something to eat. Oh, thank you, ate it, and didn't remember it no more. That's how we do God. Because his job is way harder than ours. Do you know how hard it got to be to take the impossible and make it possible? Because if we could do it, it would not be impossible. Right? It's like having a heavy hitter on your team. And you said, no, let me get that weakling. He can't even do that because he clumsy. I'm being real with you. You're choosing the enemy over the Father because you're lazy. And you don't want to try. You don't want to do anything. If God told you you are healed, I'm letting you know right now, I don't care how impossible it looks, you are healed. And the reason why I know, because God specializes in making the impossible possible. He just wants you to believe that you are healed, so in the moment you can tell the testimony and somebody else can believe it too. You can't doubt nothing God says because of his special abilities. As the song say, he healed the sick and he raised the dead. 10,000 hungry souls he fed with 5 loaves. I got 7 loaves of bread back there right now for some sandwiches. And I promise you, if about 3 more of these rows were filled in the church, we wouldn't have had no bread. But God took 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread, and he fed 5, a multitude of people. I was making our fruit bags back there, and stuff kept running out. And every time something ran out, I found another bag. And something else ran out, and I found another bag. And I said, Mom, these are the last 2 pieces of candy. She said, let me check on something. Went out there, came back with a whole nother bag full of candy. Let me tell y'all something. God specializes in making the impossible, what, Gabby? You got that right, baby. Possible. I want y'all to believe that thing. So when you in school or you on your job or whatever you're doing and you said this don't look like it's going to work, I want you to stop and I want you to pray, because God specializes in making the impossible possible. I'm talking about the power of God. And when God changes that impossible to possible, I need y'all to remember to do your part. One more element to this that I want to bring out to y'all is this. Don't do your part with an attitude. When God changed it, don't judge how he changed it. That we got a problem, because when God don't do it the way we thought he should have done it, we have an attitude and we feel a way and we don't acknowledge that it's been done. You ask God to remove somebody from your life because they toss it to you and they hit the lottery and they move on. And you mad because now they got money when they ain't with you, but when they were with you, they were broke. But you asked God to remove them. God did it the way he wanted to do it, right? And then you got an attitude and you mad. It was just an example. You pray to God and you ask God for a new car because you need to get back and forth, right? God bless you with that new car. Only problem is you got to put some brakes on it and it needs 3 new tires. I don't know if I want to get this. Mind you, somebody blessed you with the money to get it. That I know of a car, here's the money to get it. You just got to fix it. With what you didn't have before. I don't like the paint on it. Y'all see where I'm going with this? God took the impossible because you didn't have nothing. And you prayed. And he flipped the impossible and made it possible, and you complained. You didn't want to do your part. And you weren't grateful for how God did it. We is something else, ain't we? If I asked Mother Barbara to make me a pecan pie, I better very well eat that pie the way she made it, because I asked her to make it. If I wanted to make it my way, I should have made it. Right, Mother Barbara? Amen. If you say, I don't got no shoes for work, I say, what kind of shoes you need? Just some slip with guard ones so I won't slip at work. Okay, I go get you some name brand. What is them? Shoes. Because if you wanted a specific pair of shoes, you But then again, if you could do it, you would have done it. Now I got a question. Any of y'all in this building, in this room right now, I need you to raise your hand if you know how to take the impossible and make it possible. How you do it? How you take the impossible and make it possible?
Ask God.
Who, what?
Ask God.
You do what, Tyrone?
Ask God.
Then don't complain when God do it because he the one got to do it, right? And when you ask God for something and somebody else ask God for something and you see what God is doing with them, rejoice in what God is doing in their life. Because just how you prayed for impossible to be made possible, God did it for them too. Amen. It's like my children. One come ask for an ice cream sandwich because they want one real bad. And they get it and they start eating it. And then 3 more come in that room talking about, Mama, let me get an ice cream sandwich. Then you just have some chips. Yeah, but they got an ice cream sandwich, so you think you should have it because they got it? Don't we think that way? We think, even as adults, we think we should have it because somebody else had it. Matter of fact, somebody can get a blessing, they be like, oh, go get me one too. You know how I know? Because I've been guilty of it before.
Ain't we all?
Recently, Keisha bought Erica a bracelet for their vacation. And as soon as I seen it, what I say? Where my money? I'm telling the truth. I'm not speaking no lies right now. I am telling the truth. Rejoice with somebody in that they've been blessed. We got to search ourselves. And we got to constantly search ourselves. And the reason why we do, because the enemy deceives us so much that our faith dwindles and we don't even know it's being dwindled. Because when you stop believing in God and what God can do, your faith is getting smaller. I don't care what the situation looks like. I don't care how long you've been in it. I don't care what others say. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care how deceptive it looks. God specializes in what, gentlemen? What does God specialize in? Making the impossible possible. Kenya, we just gotta what? And do what? Do our part. Do our part. God specializes in this. It is his specialty. So everything that you need in God, you need to take it to him in prayer.
That's right.
And when God changes this thing for you, in the moment, recognize the power of God. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. God protects us. He provides for us. He takes us through everything that we need to go through. Ephesians 6:10, 11 and 12. Y'all ready? I want y'all to be encouraged. Because God gives you everything you need. Because he already knows what you need. And it's his specialty. He said, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may stand against the wiles of the devil. Y'all ready? I don't want y'all to be deceived, because not believing in God, not having faith, not doing your part, that's you being deceived. The 12th verse said, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That means we're not fighting against each other. We're fighting against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The enemy is trying to deceive us. Then the reason why he's trying to deceive us is he's trying to make us throw away our part. God already worked it out. He wants us to fight against one another. God already worked it out for y'all. When I tell you he specializes in making the impossible possible, he does. And he do it quicker than what you think. It's already been done. The most important part, this is the power of God. The most important part is that we what? That we what? That we what? That we what, y'all? Please do your part. Thank you.